Yo, what is up, all you stone cold, ill, medic, stank, nasty, funky monkeys, King Kongs of aquariums? You watching Aquafunk. We're gonna talk about what to do next. Obviously, I got fry. I got a lot of fry. And this is their first time. This is my yellow Firemouths. And these fry just became free swimmers yesterday. And what do I do next? I mean, what am I supposed to do? In the past, I've bred plenty of angels. The only non-angel fish I've ever bred were crebensis. I was about to say some other fish, but those were the only other fish, and they did fine. You know, they was chilling. But I meant to do that, you know, and I had somewhere to get rid of them. I had things set up. It was, you know, I had an angelfish set up, so it wasn't much to breed the crebensis. I have no setups for breeding now, so I got to think about what to do next. So let me break it down. So I got them in a 20 gallon. They was in my 75 rare Central American cichlid tank, but they started acting real aggressive to fish way bigger than them, except for each other. If you wanted to know how to tell the difference between yellow firemouth, and listen, I know yellow firemouths are not that common in the hobby, but I see them coming around more and more. They're pretty much, you know, the same as firemouths. They're in the Meeki family. But anywho, there's not a whole lot of literature on them. If you want to find literature on them, you pretty much got to read up on firemouths, and the same applies. So I saw them being real aggressive to way bigger fish, except for each other. So I put them in this 20 gallon. Now, the male is the big one on the right, gathering up stray fry, which trips me out because all the fry swimming around the tank, he's going to go ahead and decide those are strays. What they're doing now is he's not eating them, all right? And you'll see him. He gets mouthful of fry that he feels are going way too far, that he doesn't like, and he spits them back in the pot, and then they come out, and it's an ongoing thing. But so let me talk about how this all came about. So I put them in here. I figured they was a breeding pair, but I wasn't 100% sure. The females and the males pretty much look the same, to be honest with you. The male is slightly bigger, and its color is slightly more brilliant. But if you look at and you know, maybe it has a trailer on the fins, but for the most part, both the female and the male are just as brilliant in color. The only time you could really tell any real difference is when they're side by side. The one that's a little bit bigger and colorful, that's probably the male, but the best way to tell is when their breeding tubes are out or by their behavior. If two of them are acting ishy to other fish and not themselves, those are probably a mating pair. So anyway, I put them in this tank. That big rock in the middle wasn't there originally. I put it in there because I figured if they was gonna spawn, they might spawn on that rock, but they did not. They laid their eggs in that pot, and I can't see the front side of that pot. So I wasn't sure what was going on in there. And because I wasn't sure, I was real hesitant to do, I was doing water changes, but I was hesitant to do like plant cleanings and algae scrapes and all that stuff. So all I did was water changes. And my idea behind letting these spawn is I was curious to breed fish that I didn't have to take care of, that the parents would take care of. And with angels, you know, you pull the eggs and you hatch them artificially, but these guys, I didn't do that. I didn't have to do that. So I didn't do a whole lot of algae swipes, obviously. And to get them in the mood to breed, I fed them high protein pellets and did cool water changes. In fact, I have to add the water now because right now the temperature is like at 83, 82 degrees, and it's evaporated because I have the egg crate top. It's not a sealed top. It's a top where evaporation easily comes out. So I noticed that they was hanging around in that pot, being really protective of the pot, and I figured they had eggs in there. I don't know how long those eggs were in there. I know that they started acting real protective over the pot about a week ago. So I'm saying that these eggs take about a week to turn into this. I am not even going to attempt to try and tell you how many fry is there, but I have to feed these guys, right? That's one of the reasons why I didn't clean the algae off the plants. I was, you know, that algae, they might nip on that and nibble on that. That's a good source of veggie material for them to have. I have frozen baby brine shrimp, and I'm feeding them that. Now, when I'm done with the package of frozen baby brine shrimp. I don't know if I'm gonna get more. I loathe doing brine shrimp, like hatching out brine shrimp. I cannot stand it. So if they don't eat the frozen, they're just gonna starve, I guess. But so for the first week, I feed them the frozen baby brine shrimp to entice them to eat. Then after that, I think I'm gonna give them crushed up pellets. I crush the pellets up into a fine powder. In fact, I need to go get me one of those old school medicine, or you know, it's like a bowl that's made out of concrete, and you got like a stick that's made out of concrete, and you crush everything up like a pill crusher. I need to get some of that, and because I need to feed them kind of often. Now with all that extra feeding comes extra water changes. I made this device. Pretty much it's a water bottle that I put big holes in on the side of it. I'll show you a picture of it. And I put big holes in the side of it, and then I attach very, very fine stainless steel mesh. Now this mesh is so small that the fry won't go in there, but I can still use the bottle and put the holes in the water and remove water from the bottle. So basically the water is going into the bottle and I'm pulling water out of the bottle. So what now? I can't have all these fish in here forever, right? And I'm really not keen on setting up a tank for them. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna wait till they get big enough that they are safe, relatively safe. Then I'm going to take all these fry to my buddy at a fish farm, Consolidated Fish Farms, and let him have them and let him start his own strain of yellow firemouths. And hopefully you guys could get some of these. I'm gonna give some away to friends, of course, but you know, Consolidated Fish Farms, I'm put a link in the description below where you can get a 10% discount if you decide to, or if you're a channel member, you get 17% discount. At any rate, that's where they're going. They're gonna go to Consolidated Fish Farms. They're gonna grow out and have more bibis, and I'm still gonna keep the parents. Or if it becomes to the point where they're just breeding way too much, I'll let them have the parents. And Consolidated Fish Farms always been good to me, so I do not have a problem with that whatsoever. To be honest with you, I still might get, because I am not in the mood to raise bait, and my life just can't handle that right now, raising all these fish. I might let him have both, then later on in the future, you know, go ahead and get one to put in my collection. But for me to have a breeding setup is just not in the cards right now. A pet store, I'm gonna be honest with you, if you was planning to make some money, yeah, you could definitely go on Facebook. You know how they do on Facebook where they get PM me. You know, you get a pretty penny for these guys if you were wanting to get a bunch of 10 gallons and be willing to do a bunch of water changes, which I'm probably going to do because of how often I have to feed them, and I have to feed the parents too. You can't forget about feeding the parents, because if the parents get hungry, guess what? Them baby fish is gone. So I gotta do probably I'm gonna do 5 gallons every day, every water change, and the water that I'm gonna apply to the tank is gonna be aged 24 hours and up to temperature. Well, it might not be 100% up to temperature. That's come I'm only doing 1 bucket every day. I don't want the temperature to fluctuate too much, but that's what I'm gonna do. I'm kind of excited that I got this. You know, I could check this one off the box. Been there, done that. Got the t-shirt.